Hey Grubsters, and welcome to another video. We are in Season 12 of W3 Champions, so we're going to have a new chance to break through on the ladder in 4-on-4 and 1-on-1. But first, the question is, yes, we've got all these updates from W3 Champions, but what is, in the meantime, Blizzard doing? What are they doing with the game? Is it all W3 Champions patches, or are there some Blizzard patches? And actually, there is a new Blizzard patch 1.33 for the PTR. Now, I read that yesterday and I went over it briefly, but someone has done some extra testing, and it's our friend Wtii. So let's take a look at what he has done with that and jump into it.
Blizzard
So this is Warcraft 3 PTR patch 1.33 update. This just went live yesterday on July 13th or 12th. I think it was, yeah, July 12th or 13th. And so if you don't know, the PTR is a test server where developers put out their game, a new version of the game that you can test right before they make it go live. And Blizzard's kind of been tinkering with that for about a month or so, since June. So, well, let's just jump right into it and see what's going on.
Blizzard have updated the PTR patch, and we're a bit concerned because they haven't necessarily addressed the things that could potentially break this game. Thank you, very good time there, Harley. Blizzard said...
So what's going on here is that this is by Rale. We just had him as a special guest on our YouTube channel. And Rale mentioned that, yeah, there were still a couple of things broken with the content editor. And we also have ex-Blizzard employees tweeting at Blizzard. Ex-Blizzard employees are tweeting at Blizzard, don't leave your community in this state. Don't leave the game in this state. Don't do this to your community. And both Rale and the ex-Blizzard dev, aka Arctic, have offered free help, free consulting, free QA, whatnot, free advice, in order to not push patch 1.33 in a broken state to live. And, you know, I've reached out to the lead developer for Warcraft 3, the lead responsible, Holly Longdale. I've reached out to Mike Ibarra. Nobody has gotten back to me. Nobody has gotten back to anybody. So they've got a person, two persons working on this game, and they come up with a couple of cool changes. And there's some cool stuff in here, as you'll see. But as we know with Blizzard now, the written word is not necessarily the same as the actual act being performed, and there's always a chance of things breaking, as you'll see.
What program do you use for
Shush, Holly, thank you. I'm trying to do an introduction here.
That's a different
I
Holly.
was just testing 1 versus 1, which took a very long time to find a game. I was actually specifically searching to find a game against Fred.
So he's playing on PTR, right? So he's testing these some of these changes.
But we couldn't get a game together. So they added in the feature called Stats, which doesn't work.
And Wtii is a great guy, by the way. I'm going to put a link to his YouTube channel in the in my description so that you can follow him as well. What I am for the melee scene, like the biggest creator in the Warcraft 3 multiplayer scene, Wtii is that for custom games.
Work now, so I'll show that off in the custom games because the player's left. So Stats doesn't work if a player leaves, unfortunately. So I can't show you that until we do it in the custom game section. So I'll stop these units being noisy. There is an important feature that will probably affect you guys the most, and that will be the camera zoom. So get ready for it.
This is pretty nice. This is normal.
Here we go. So if I scroll out, you can zoom out. So mouse wheel back and forward to zoom in and out. So I would say that this is about 1650. That's about 1750. That's about 1950.
Yeah, I think the 1951 that he showed, that's roughly where I play. Like this zoom is roughly where I play. Maybe around here, and I play at 1920. Maybe I play slightly more zoomed in than this. And so the first thing I saw is when Blizzard offered a mouse wheel zoom in and out function, there's a couple of problems with that. First of all, it's not precise. In W3 Champions, we can choose a single pixel zoom in and out, like a single line of pixels around the screen, if you will. So you can be at 1921 zoom or 1922 or 1923, and here you're just zooming past, like, you know, in certain bunny hop steps. and you don't know what your default zoom is with the Blizzard way of doing things, with the Blizzard way of zoom. If you get it wrong on W3 Champions, you can type Z in chat, -Z, or you can type F5 on your keyboard, and you'll reset back to your default. But Blizzard didn't come up with a way to do that.
And then that's probably like 2,100 in terms of the War3 Champions zoom feature. So you remember the War3 Champions, if you type in like zoom 1900, it fixes your camera zoom on that.
Exactly.
If you accidentally scroll in, you just type Z and it will bring you back. In this, you don't have a fixed zoom, which is unfortunate.
Yep.
Because what I would love
Yep.
is the ability to sort of stop, say for example here. But if I accidentally touch my mouse wheel,
Yep.
then it goes up, and then you got to sort of get it back to that exact point. So
And what if you wanted to be in between the two levels of zoom? And what's more is sometimes on W3 Champions, you'll zoom in to see an item on the ground, and then you want to go back to default without having to be like 1, 2, 3, 4.
whilst the zoom feature is pretty damn cool,
It is cool.
I'm sure it shouldn't be too difficult to create a fixed zoom as well. Ideally, players should also have the choice to pick their zoom
Yep.
with the slider that was available in the options now. So if we check the gameplay, you got default zoom.
Okay.
Believe it or not, this is actually the most zoomed out, and that's
What?
the most zoomed in. I think it should be the other way around, but that's the way it is. So if you have this over here, you're going to be like this inside of the game. When you start it up, it's going to look like that. If you have the default zoom to
I
here,
mean,
it's just
Japan,
gonna set your game to
USA.
this. But you can't fix your zoom, which is a real shame. So ideally, that would be something that gets solved.
He's
'cause
so
I've got
polite
muscle
about it.
memory to sort of
It's
keep
a real
tapping my
shame.
middle mouse button when I should be. Another issue that I have with the PTR is the font.
And no labels. No labels. It's like one of those graphs. You know, dentists recommend you to look at this graph to buy this toothpaste. This is how good your teeth will be. No numbers.
For the menu, allies, chat, the gold, lumber, food supply, upkeep is
It is
still
weird.
spread, including the font for the ping, APM, and FPS. If you type in chat, though, to all, that does look a bit weird. So
It does.
it didn't
Did
look
you
so
guys
weird
see
when
it?
I was in a custom. It does look a bit weird. So
I can't
it didn't
say.
look so weird when I was in a custom game a moment ago, but it does look different. That chat. So
And try to explain that actually to Blizzard. Try to actually be like, you see this? It looks off. You know, if you're not a typography professional, you can't say, or if like coding or front end UI UX developer, then you can't explain in words why it looks off. Maybe they would be able to explain. Maybe they can say like it wasn't vectored in for this resolution, so it lost some fidelity. Or maybe it's like, oh, it actually looks like the wrong typeface. It's not using bold, or it got thinner because I don't know exactly what. But like all we know is it looks off, and I agree. But
So,
how and why, I don't know.
let's have a little look at some of these other features that we have. So we have the improved stats, which I'll show you soon. That's going to show off battle. Let me remove that. No, don't.
He's got some kind of cool highlighting
Battle
extension.
tag. So you show off your battle tag, your win-loss ratio, as well as your MMR. If you type in stats.
The community can easily describe it, but they didn't respond to the ordinary bug report forum for over 2 years. They're active on the PTR bug report forum. Ah, I see.
Games are now global. So Fred, if you want to host up a custom game, I can show that. And
I have a theory that these font changes are in order to fix the bug of Cyrillic, Korean and Chinese characters not appearing on the English client. I think you might actually be right with that, Tap Siri, Mr. Miyagi. My experience in the past is that when I went to China or Russia to play tournaments, or Korea, mostly China and Russia, the English font always looked different, but the Warcraft client was able to display the local language, either Cyrillic or Mandarin, right? Whereas when I'm playing from Europe, then it always looks like nothing, like empty spaces when people type in Korean, Chinese, or Cyrillic. As such, yeah, for me the font looked bad because I'm not used to it in those countries, but they probably don't mind or don't care. And it's a relatively small thing to care about, but yeah, it might be because of that.
we just went over the camera zoom, which has been added. So players can now update their zoom through their wheel up or down, or pressing pig up and pig down on the
Pick
keyboard.
up? Pick up? Page down, what?
However, you can rotate the camera only using the delete key. If you press the insert key, nothing happens.
Huh?
So they've managed to break the insert key somehow. So if I want to rotate the camera to a specific place,
Wait, how did he just rotate it then?
it's very important sometimes in competitive.
He just said insert doesn't work.
Rotate the camera to a specific place.
Did he just do it with his hand? He just moved his monitor 90 degrees. He's got one of those swiveling monitors.
It's very important sometimes in competitive games. You'll actually see me do this, not because I'm just messing around, but because I actually need to quickly identify a
He turned his
unit that
head.
I can't see otherwise through the isometric view that I currently have, and pressing insert doesn't do anything. So
Then what
that's
did
a
he press?
concern. So we went over the slider option, which adjusts your camera height for players, and they fixed an issue with music not playing in the game.
Oh, it only works when at default zoom? No, he just did insert again. Maybe there's another key as well. I don't know. Didn't he say delete? Yeah, but that's the opposite direction.
The Stormlight's saying
Delete is like this, and insert is like this. So how come he was able to move
Yeah,
left
the
and then
music.
right? Well, I'm gonna have to test it myself.
yeah. Listen, Kat, this is Night Elf music. What it's doing is it's almost just playing
How does he know that?
the soundtrack for Warcraft.
Yeah, I guess.
3. It's not actually playing race specific, because the music you get at the start is like the menu music. And then you maybe get a bit of human music. But now we're hearing Night Elf music, and before long it'll probably be Orc music or something. Whoa, that's not correct, is it?
Yeah.
Listen to that.
So music wasn't
So
working
they
in game.
haven't fixed the music. They've just kind of sidestepped it.
They stick
put
this-
music in, but it's not an actual fix because it's incorrect.
They just stick the CD-ROM
So
in.
this is a bit of the concern that I have really with what Blizzard are doing with this patch, and that's basically a bit clickbaity. We're done. Like, I feel like Blizzard's approach is just like slap it together. Even though they're putting in new features like this zoom ability, which is obviously nice, and the stats functionality, that's technically some effort on their part, and I very much appreciate that. But it still feels like they're just slapped down.
It streams the music from a YouTube video of Warcraft 3 music. Oh, I should upload it to my channel. Maybe they'll choose my channel. Get lots of views every time someone runs the game.
Pieces together to sort of ship this out and forget about it, which obviously we know they would almost love to do, judging by how they've acted in the past. They didn't even recognize Warcraft 3 on the 20th anniversary, which is bonkers for a video game company to do.
Well, they sued someone. Oh, cease and desist.
Various locations and layout
Not so-
fixes in different locales, so that's fine. Leaderboards have been updated with a friends filter, so we'll go over this stuff in a moment. So I'm going to just show you off the custom game. Waiting for results, because this is technically a ladder game. It's not that complicated. I mean, honestly, we're at the point. Failed to retrieve data. There you go. Well, why am I not surprised?
Oh,
Beautiful. Okay.
He,
So it couldn't even.
but it's his own fault, isn't it? He waited too long for someone to leave. He spent like 5 minutes testing. Of course, he doesn't remember the result of the game. It's like, honey, have you locked the door? What? Yeah, have you locked the door? What? We're in Germany already. And, we're going on vacation. You ask me now? I don't remember.
do that.
He's been in the game for 5 minutes since he's won. The game is like, what? I don't know who won. Does anyone see it?
So there's the 1 versus 1 game. So it didn't even show it. It's not even registered it. This is actually
Was missing
worse
for 2 months.
than
What-
the previous PTR update when they first released.
We're watching a PTR update video. We are done, said Blizzard. PTR update and reforged. Fix list removed.
Ranked, because at least that worked. This hasn't even worked. So what does my leaderboard say? Am I even on it? Because technically, in my profile, I'm unplaced. So if you look at season 2, which we're on at the moment, because that's season 1, no games. So this is actually working worse I'm just going to quickly go over this before I join your game, Fred. Thank you very much for hosting it. If I look up, for example, Krav, you can see him at the top there. Very good player. It doesn't highlight him anymore. It used to just single out Krav, so then you could find him.
It got
Although
worse.
you had to be on the correct number on the leaderboard in order to do that. So let's say, for example, I go to page 2, and I find Never Lucky here. If we scroll up, Never Lucky doesn't bring him. If you try to go to page 1 whilst you're looking at this, doesn't work. So let's copy paste that. Now suddenly I can go back to page 1. It immediately does it. If I type in Never Lucky, it doesn't like bring you to page 2 where he is. Even on page 2.
It actually snaps to page 2 the moment you delete the text from filter players. Did you see that? It remembered he had clicked it, but it won't highlight it unless he deletes the text.
It doesn't show you where he is. You know he's down here. So if you do this, that's me pressing enter. Even if I've typoed it, you can still filter. Doesn't do it. So features that were actually working before aren't really working. And another weird thing is this doesn't scroll all the way up. Is it me? Am I the only one bothered by this? It just looks
No.
as high as I can get it. It feels, even if it's case sensitive, let me just type NE. I can't typo that, can I? It doesn't filter anything. Nothing gets filtered. So there's some serious jank going on right now. As you can see, like, this hasn't even registered my game. So
Because it failed to retrieve the data.
local area network seems to be working. It doesn't come up with a bonjour. Although, to be fair, I haven't properly tested it because I don't have LAN, so I can't truly test it. But you can bring that up. So if we go to the custom game now, we'll see Fred's game. So you can see the ping here. So
That's
the
new.
idea is that you'll be able to click on the ping to show the lowest MS, which will obviously be more ideal for you if you're looking for a particular game and multiple.
Wtii is the first person to ever try this stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I think they just sent it out and like nobody bothered to test it. He's actually the hardest working tester there is, which is why we have a video on this now.
Hosted and you want a good ping. So let's go inside here. And if you'd like to just start the
He got voluntold to QA test.
game off, Fred, we can show off the stats. And then I can do that part as well. So we're going to look at the stats functionality. So this will show my battle tag, although it doesn't work in custom games. So you can see my default zoom is here,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Some people like
Because
that.
That's how it is on the gameplay here at the start, which really should be over here.
Yep.
But if I do stats, yeah, the text looks weird actually.
Wallah.
So Woolaloo, win 0, loss 0.
It
win
looks
1,
so
0.
bad.
So this is obviously a custom game. I couldn't show it in the 1 versus 1.
Couldn't they
because it
even
didn't
write
work.
colons?
You have to do it whilst the player's still there, I assume.
Wallah.
But it would have
Is
set
this
us
like a
apart.
reference to Age of Empires? Wallah Mumra.
Because it didn't work. You have to do it whilst the player's still there, I
A little
assume.
colon.
But it would essentially show off your battle tag and stuff like that. But even then, I'm not convinced that's working exactly full-on correct. It kind of looks normal when you type there, but if I'm trying to type in here, it looks weird in the bar. It looks like the same sort of stretched out font here a little bit.
Yeah, it is
It's
stretched.
just not quite right. You hear that, by the way. Listen to this. That's the menu.
Yep.
That's not night elf music.
It's not easy,
That's
these
night,
things.
Night elf. Sorry, menu music. So that's incorrect.
It's not easy, these things,
Okay.
guys.
So if I come out of this, and let's just say, for example, we just quickly show off what it looks like if the zoom is at the far right, which technically is the most zoomed in. I think it should be the most zoomed out,
Yep.
personally. Let me know what you guys think.
Agree.
In the YouTube comments.
True.
Post those YouTube comments for that algorithm. So we just start this off.
It goes for you guys, too. What?
And there you go. That's
Wait.
the most zoomed in you can be.
This? Can you even get this level of zoom by zooming in? First of all, because as far as I know, when you zoom in with the mouse wheel, it does this tilt swivel to look at it from way down low. I don't think you can even get here, which is weird because Like this looks incredibly zoomed in without the lower, because they did this weird thing when Reforged came out. They allowed zoom in deeper than before, if I'm not mistaken, but they coupled downwards camera with swiveling camera. So it's like zzz, and then zzz. And that's how it is now too. This is default level. This is where I play on W3 Champions. This is where you can zoom out on W3 Champions. This is also where you can zoom out by Blizzard. And this is the range of motion that you can zoom in and out. But then Blizzard had their zoom in to be like this. So you look at someone's below the nose rather than still from the same perspective. This zoom in that he has now feels different than zooming in.
So if you zoom all the way out with the mouse wheel.
Grubby doing the YMCA.
But
I will sing the entire YMCA in a pink jockstrap if that's what it takes for Blizzard to bring this baby back perfectly. Proper reforged.
insert still doesn't work. So, don't know. I don't know. I wonder if cheats work in this. I think they do. So the zoom out feature is quite interesting.
Yeah.
Particularly for custom games. That's a really good feature. Obviously in most pretty well made custom games, they give you the option to type in a zoom to find the zoom that you like. But for those that don't, then it's a nice feature. So I appreciate that. I would say that's probably the only thing that they've kind of got right here.
Yeah.
Is the zoom out feature. Because as for the changes that they made to
Kind of got right, because you cannot choose a default, right? That's still kind of a problem.
the leaderboard and such, it's kind of hard to sort of see that. Apparently you come up as a gold bar on the leaderboard, but I'm not even on the leaderboard because my game didn't even work or count. And the things that did work on the leaderboard don't work anymore. So leaderboards have been updated with a friends filter. So you can look at all your... Oh. And
No
your
friends.
account in the leaderboard will now be highlighted. Yeah, no.
No friends
Player
filter.
profiles have been updated to include more match history data. So let's have a look at Crab, although he hasn't played since the previous season. I don't think... you can't actually look at the most recent games.
He pressed whisper.
View profile. So
Match history.
apparently there's more stats now. I can't remember exactly what this looked like. Maybe it shows you the
I think it
direct
showed like
timestamp.
20 games before.
But
Can we zoom down?
thought it'd be nice if there was a way you could right-click on this game and then
Scroll down.
click on View Replay. This
Yeah.
is for you, though. I don't have his replay, so I wouldn't be able to do that. That'd be really cool if you could see someone else's games just by doing that. But I understand that with the way the game works, you wouldn't be able to do that normally. I'm just saying, if I looked at my own profile and I go, oh yeah, I wonder what I did in that game, I right-click, I View Replay from there. That'd be a cool feature.
I think he has this window open with wind.
I'm not exactly sure what they really updated here. It doesn't seem very clear to me, like anything looks any different.
If he zooms,
It kinda
if he
showed this
scrolls down.
beforehand. But it is what it is. We have fixed an issue where players could not access campaign portraits from the player profile. So that seems fine. I can't really test that so easily, but
This is not the
there's
player profile.
skins and there's the portraits.
Player profile's bottom right.
There's the campaign.
This is the collection.
The campaign actually crashed for me earlier this morning. It's worked now. Dude, thank you very much for the sub. You got the classic W up here. I think that looks different. I don't remember that being there. So
Cheer
that's
up,
showing...
Have a prime sub.
I think
Classic,
it's
thank you
showing
very
because
much.
he's on classic
I
graphics
don't know if I would
toggle.
swap over to Reforged graphics. What that looks like. Oh, there
Ah.
you go. See, that changes.
Oh, that's good
So
that it shows now.
swap them back and forth. And then you just load up. So it's worked since I tested it this afternoon, but when I tested it this morning, it was crashing. So I don't know if that was just a
Don't
one-off
play in
fluke
the morning.
or, you know, just Reforged being Reforged. It's really hard to tell in this game. But obviously another benefit of this, again, it's really the only good thing we got is the zoom. Because you can use it in the custom campaign, or not custom campaign, we
Any
don't have
campaign.
those. The actual campaign. You can zoom in and out. But again, the insert key doesn't work, so that's a problem. And what else do we have? They've added an error message in the editor for players that...
This line really confused me. Let's see if he figures it out.
Oh yeah. Hopefully this is a step in the right direction to fixing what can fundamentally...
Custom FX baked on an older version of popcorn. That just, to me, that sounds like how it would sound like to my grandparents. But this probably makes sense. Popcorn is probably a programming language or something. And baking is probably making code. I have no idea.
potentially break a lot of potential
You need popcorn and Bonjour to play Warcraft 3? Okay.
user-generated content for Warcraft 3 going forwards. I know there's a lot of concern from Rally and Cam, you know, many other content creators, Insane Monster as well, and Shardy, that there needs to be a lot more done to the editor before they push this patch out to actually fix it. Not even so much a case of, oh, we would like these features. Of course, they'd like these features and added, but this is more a case of if you actually go ahead, things might not even properly work anymore. But you know that they're probably going to try to push it ahead because they're wanting to close the PTR on July the 18th. Well, as I'm recording this, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the 14th of July, so you ain't got much time. Then they're going to do additional internal-only testing before the final release of the patch. So that's the patch. If there's anything else I missed, apologies, but that's basically...
And this is what Cam said about it, who used to work for Blizzard. This is what he said about it. This is great, but there are still severe crashes in the world editor. Please think about your entire audience before pushing to production.
Basically it. Really, we only got the zoom, and then we got a bunch of things that seem worse than they were before.
And theoretically, most of this stuff wouldn't bother me so long as it stays on the PTR. But when you actually resume what is going to potentially be happening, first of all, I hope W3 Champions doesn't break. Secondly, the zoom thing seems cool, and I'm hoping that the W3 Champions zoom can completely counteract and countermand whatever Blizzard's zoom is going to be doing with this thing. I'm assuming we'll still be able to zoom on W3 Champions maps. So it's not going to affect me personally too much, though I don't think they should be breaking random things of the game at any point. Then the map making community, again, I don't play a lot of custom maps, so it doesn't affect the way I enjoy the game, but it affects my community who do play the game that way, and it affects the health of the game in general. So that's a really big deal to the Warcraft 3 community. Then the music thing. The music thing is kind of a big deal. I guess... Well, I guess it's not too bad for me if I'm playing as Orc and it plays undead music. But it is off. It is embarrassing. As long as there's always music. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to open my World of Warcraft playlist again. I'll run this. And that's going to be cool too. But I shouldn't have to be doing this. So, yeah, I'd rather they don't push this live. I find it incredible that they're saying we're done. We're taking it down in 4 days from now. And we're going to be pushing it live after some additional internal testing. Because let's face it, they don't have the manpower or the desire to do a lot more internal testing. Most likely.
So, concerned? Yes. Expecting it? Yes. Now, the other topic I wanted to go over was Storm Knight's Fred, if you remember. I covered that. I did a video on that. You guys should look at it. Have a look at it, you filthy filths. I did this video.
I prefer Grubby, not filthy, but...
the ultimate fix list for Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Hello, welcome.
This is going over a thread that Storm Knight created. And if you look here, you got the Hive Workshop thread for it, which does work because they're not Blizzard, so they didn't remove it. Whereas if you go to the forums where it was posted, you get the...
Holy crap, they deleted user posts?
That big thread that showed off all of the fixes...
All of the bugs.
For Warcraft 3, what's kind of needed, like the font being incorrect, in-game music not working, which it still isn't working correctly. This goes over lots of details. It's very clear. It's very concise. It's basically a dream for someone that doesn't mind work, because obviously there's a lot of work.
Oh
to
yeah,
do,
they know how to
but
describe all this stuff. They were talking about like extra spacing for the font has been introduced and stuff. Like it's being served to Blizzard on a silver platter. Even if you were a reluctant developer working on a game that you'd rather not be working on or whatever, like even if that was the case, this is helping you do your job better and quicker with less backlash.
But if someone, say for example, I was doing a script or something, and someone wrote out a script and had it very clearly labeled out for me, and all I had to do was read it, or look at it and then do the voice acting, that's beautiful. Like someone's done the work for you to sort of look at all of these, and they've even given you demonstrations with pictures to indicate what's changed and how it should look. Like that's incredible. Imagine having that done for you, and then they remove it because supposedly
They're done.
the reasons are that on the forums you can't post multiple issues in one thread. Something along those lines. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Storm Knight.
They
But
can't.
what they said is that you need to post items individually. So, for example, I've just looked this up. Bogdan is now posting.
Make a post yourself, Blizzard. Look at these 26 issues and make 26 posts yourself. It's not our job to organize that for you normally, right?
In these individually. Now, the issue with that is that it just spams the forums, and then it also just pushes everything else down. So unless someone is working at Blizzard and actually paying proper attention and going through these one by one, I kind of understand. If you were actually doing your job, you can go, okay, this is all I need to look at. Do it. Job done. Next one. Move on. But as it is, it's more likely just going to get pushed down.
It's going to be lost.
Become obscure. So
And you know how these companies think? They're like, well, this one doesn't have a lot of posts and views. This doesn't seem to be an important issue. I'll just skip these 3.
As they keep spamming these over and over, they don't know if Blizzard are truly looking at this, so they're trying to bump it up. So if you had this one place to go where everything is located, they can still do the same. They can just look at it and go through it one by one. So,
Oh, I know what happened. They're removing it to save face because certain big investors are currently looking at the Blizzard bug forums for the Warcraft 3 Reforged PTR. So they're cleaning up, they're cleaning house in order to put up a good facade, a good pretense. But they do care about the issues, so they actually bookmarked this website, an external website where they do not suffer the shame in front of large mega corporations that are auditing they're doing the due diligence about whether they want to invest big time into. Yeah, that's what they're doing. They removed the bug forum post for appearances, but this one has been saved to their screensaver, to their to their desktop.
it's pretty sus that Blizzard decided to delete this PTR thread.
Yeah,
That
they
was
don't
gonna
need to. They have a nicely formatted one on Hive Workshop.
basically help them out. And there you have it. If you guys have anything to let me know in the comments section below, what you think should be done for the game, what you would like to see done, please do let me know. Type it, YouTube it, thumbs up, subscribe, twitch.tv/Wtii, Wtii Warcraft on Twitter, and patreon.com/Wtii Warcraft. Please do support if you like the channel and want to continue seeing the channel afloat. And that's it. I thought I'd just bring you all this information. I hope.
Guys, same thing for this video. If you've made it this far, please do consider subscribing. I know there's always some people that aren't sub but still look at the content and like it. So why rob yourself of future content that you will enjoy? Hit that sub, hit that notification bell, all, and we're good. And you'll see the next stuff.
Hopefully it's nice and concise and you got some fun out of it. But, you know, there's also... You know, the humor is kind of like a self-defense mechanism, really, because it's just watching them sort of destroy the game even more, potentially. And it's kind of concerning. I almost prefer they just don't bring this patch out.
Yep.
Even if I don't get the zoom, just leave it. What they really need to do is obviously just admit that they don't care anymore and just give the game to the actual community. That's obviously what they need to do, because they clearly don't. You can't even find the game on most of the Blizzard sites. And when I was looking up the Blizzard logos I could find almost every single logo, including like Warcraft 2, really obscure sort of logos. But Warcraft 3 Reforged wasn't there.
Yeah.
And it's just so disgusting how they do this. I'm not going to go down a whole path. I'm almost going to go down a rant. It's just basically discussing how they're treating it. If they're going to...
All of us Warcraft creators are one rant away from insanity. But because we care about making good content, we don't. Yo, thanks, Scrubbler Tyler, for
treat
the
this
sub.
game
Appreciate it.
and actually improve it, then please actually do that. Don't just sort of slapdash some things together and then go, we're done. Because that's just... I mean, at this day, we just expect it. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day. As best a day as you can. And see you later.
See you guys later, too.